What's up, everyone? Here we are in Game 9 of the Chicago Bears Backyard Football 2002 season playthrough with the worst combination of players. Once again, I emphasize, worst combination of players, but it's not hampering us too much as we go into Game 9 with 6 games left in the season. Second game of our 5-game homestand against the 6-2 Falcons, looking to make ourselves 9-0 after this one. And with the Packers and Vikings potentially losing after today, we could have clinched the Frontyard Central before the day is over. So let's try to do that here in Game 9. We're playing the Falcons, who are 6-2. I'm not sure what their running attack's like or what they do as an offense, as a defense, but I have confidence we'll be able to take them. I'm going to sort things out in the offensive end real quick, get Ahmed and Jorge back in there, and let's get going with Game 9, hopefully. All right, so we got some snow. I'm assuming this seems pretty quick, so that's going to help you out a little bit, and that's going to help me out a little bit. Obviously, whenever you're playing a team and the rain or snow, as we covered so far, you're definitely affected. I mean, huge impact in 2002, even greater than that of the original backyard football. That is a little bit more normal in all weather, but less affected, I would say, in general. So Jorge's open on the near side. He's trucking down the sidelines, and Jorge, he's got pretty good speed when he's got full energy, and I'm going to dive there. That's not a bad strategy if you don't want to fumble. And as some people have been noting, Sydney Weber is definitely our best threat, but she gets stuck up there after only a gain of 1 yard on that sweep. So I'm going to throw this one out of play. No intentional grounding here. No Eli Manning. That's ironic. The Falcons got that safety on Eli Manning after an intentional grounding, and there'll be none of that for me. So it's going to flip this one to Sydney as she's wide open over there, and she hangs on, thankfully. Sydney Weber, pretty good halfback in terms of catching passes and whatnot, and as I do usually, first kick, you always want to test out your offensive line, see if you're going to be able to hold up, and that is a boomer that she put through there. Never seen one go higher than that. And she is just nailing the ball today. She's getting the ball way up in the air, giving our coverage teams chances to get down to the field, down at the other end of the field, and Ronnie once again missing another tackle. So this play is a common running play. You'll see if you see 3 guys line up, and then it's staggered as well. They like to do a little running play. It's Sally Forth, I believe that's called, where the center pulls out and blocks. It's not a great play. And picked off by Sydney, like arena football style, playing both sides of the field, defense and offense. Now picking one off after just receiving a touchdown. So Sydney's open again. She's been stuttering there, but I'm going to dive ahead and almost get the first down. Setting up a short 2nd and 2 for the Chicago Bears. Billy rolls out, flips one to Ahmed, and Ahmed's open for 6. Big time roll out by Billie Jean Blackwood, flipping a short pass to Ahmed Khan on the far sideline, getting in for 6. So I'm going to try to nail this, other extra point, and 2 for 2. I think that's a record so far for Angela Vecchio, and probably even in this Backyard Football 2002 league as of this year. That looking around the league leaders in kicking, not the greatest kicking league out there, both in PATs and field goals. That tends to happen in 2002 compared to maybe the 2006 maybe. And you want to take the angle if you see someone's faster. And Georgia, I don't know her last name, she's pretty fast. They got purple hairs here, and Liz Kinghorn getting nailed. Sydney Weber trying to force another turnover. Almost does as Ronnie Dobbs makes a tackle. And Cade McNown breaks a tackle. We in Bear Country aren't the fondest of Cade McNown. Somehow for some reason he was allowed in this game as an all-star football player, but he didn't do too well with the Bears. And Angela Vecchio stiffing that attempt to get a first down. It looks like they're going to punt. Georgia must not be a very good punter, and I'm going to let Lulu, whoever that is, receive that, and I'm not going to risk the fumble. So Ahmed's open. Once again, What Am I is a great play if you want to get some quick yardage, and Ahmed does that for us as he gets a first down after a gain of exactly 20. So I'm going to go back to him. Why not? The well has not run dry yet. And we'll try to get some ice action. And if you want to get a few extra yards, you can run behind an ice patch and try to draw your opposition through that ice patch so they will slip. Doesn't happen too often, though. especially if you're slower. You can't get the opportunity as often. And Sydney's open across the middle, and she cannot hang on to that one. So I'm going to go with the old standby swinger, see if I can't get either Sydney or your other option, who is Jorge or Ahmed, whatever receiver you have. Sydney is wide open, 4-6, and I just feel like diving in the end zone. I just love diving. Why not dive? So once again, Billie Jeans is racking up the touchdown passes, and that is not happening. Jeremiah, my very rarely used player, gets stuck up there, not allowing Angela to get her third PAT off for the day. So we got to take one score, 20 points. Remember, score also means 20. Thank you, Abraham Lincoln. And Angela has been not doing that well in terms of sacking opposing quarterbacks. She's not taking advantage of getting past the offensive line. And Keisha Phillips is a pretty good, nice play, Ronnie, getting Sydney's fumble. Keisha Phillips is a good pass rusher and a good pass blocker, offensive lineman for you. She's not a bad kicker. She's not the most accurate, but she definitely gets the ball out there with a little bit more oomph than most people. She's a little bit above average, but she's not too accurate. So you're going to have to weigh those two things together, and I'm going to have to put these guys out there. Not that they're a great shake, but they do have more energy, so you got to take advantage of that sometime. And Jeremiah actually makes a catch. Melvin all the way to the 1 yard line. Now I'm going to try to get him a TD here. And that is not working for us. Trying to get our not so loved players into the action. But it looks like it's just going to have to be Sydney Weber once again as she reels in her third touchdown reception of the day. So we're going to try a little corner action here, try to shake things up a little bit, try to go for 2. And that is 2 points for Sydney Weber, using her height over a short Georgia, purple hair, and the Bears. And Sydney Weber had taken a commanding lead here, Game 9 of the regular season, against the division-leading Frontyard West Atlanta Falcons. From the olden days when the Falcons and the Saints and the Panthers shared divisions with the Niners in the West. So we have positive rushing yardage, which is surprising. 100% third down completion there. And I'm going to call a timeout and get my offense straightened up again, as once you go into halftime, all your players are returned to full health. I guess I should bring this up to you. The other day, the Paul Blue Demons, my favorite college basketball team, I have season tickets for them with a bunch of my friends. Paying up for each game. We got to rush the court as they beat Pitt, scored 7 points in the last 20 seconds of the game. It was electric. I just wanted to let you know that happened. And if you have the opportunity, you can go to ESPN.com. And thankfully, Georgia stays low on that one. ESPN.com, ESPN3.com, excuse me. Look under the replay tab, and big catch by Kim from first down. And you can look on the replay tab under DePaul versus Pitt men's basketball on January 5th. If you want to see me, if you watch the last 5 seconds of the clip after storming the court, I'm right next to the ESPN cameras that were used to film the students that rushed the court. You can see me for about 5 seconds just smiling at the camera as I was partying with the DePaul students and players. That was a magical game. Thought I'd let you know I did that. That was pretty cool. Highlight of my winter break. And Jorge with the interception, his second of the day, keeping them out of the end zone. So I'm trying to make a concerted effort not to give up points. And it looks like Rick has something else to say about that. I thought Ahmed would be able to make the catch there, and Angela Delvecchio is not doing so hot in taking down quarterbacks on the rush. So I'm going to try to shut down Kim here. And Georgia somehow comes up with the tipped pass. Georgia Doyle, not a bad receiver. Got good speed, so watch out for her if you see her in your game. And they are wide open there, 4-2. So it's a 28-8 game. Still have a commanding 20-point lead, but I'm going to try to tack on a few extra points here. You're going to see a little bit more low scoring when you play in the snow, that's for sure. And Ronnie is susceptible for a fumble, so I'm just going to dive out there and not risk anything. So Ahmed's open again, try to see if he can redeem himself. Try to use this ice patch, and it takes out 3 Atlanta Falcons for a huge game for Ahmed Khan. So some big yardage there for Ahmed Khan. Try to see if I can get an outside swinger to Sydney Weber. And good game by Sydney Weber as she gets brought down by Georgia Doyle at the Falcons' 8-yard line. So loose coverage by the Atlanta Falcons here, and Sydney Weber is in for 6. Her 4th touchdown of the game, her first rushing touchdown, and that gives us a 26-point lead. Try to make it 28 here with the 2-point conversion. Might as well go for Sydney Weber again, and that adds to her 2-point conversion total for the season. So just got 4 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter of the game, and we'll be going in the 4th quarter with a comfortable lead, and hopefully at least the Vikings or the Packers lose. I do face them again, so I can win the division by myself. I think at home, I played the Lions on the road, but I played the other 2 guys at home, so I should have the opportunity to potentially clinch the division at home with my loyal fans that we don't have here at Metro Civic Playgrounds. Sometimes I play at Cactus Gulch. I don't mind it, but it's not the best place. It's got cool ambiance, but I've also played here at Metro Civic Playgrounds, and I felt like pulling that one out for just overriding my desire to play at Cactus Gulch. So I'm going to try for it here on 4th down. Might as well, and I don't have a great kicking game anyways, so my punting. Oh, and he goes for the dive. That's not going to end up benefiting him as Sydney Weber saunters in the end zone for yet another touchdown. Unbelievable. So I'm going to try to tack on a couple another extra point here for Angela Vecchio, and she does that. And this is interesting. There are 2 different field goals at either end of the field, I think. That's what at least when you're looking at the field from over here, that's what it looks like. And she is breaking tackles left and right as she gets out to the 41-yard line, ahead of where even a penalty kicking it out of bounds would have placed her on a kickoff. Sydney Weber drops Georgia Doyle for a loss there. And it looks like Georgia Doyle is not even a receiver, but she's a halfback. She's a pretty good rushing halfback and receiving halfback, although her receiving game seems to outweigh her value as a rusher. And Sydney Weber with the big hit, almost forcing a turnover. So you'd think they need to go for it here on 4th down, but with the game out of reach for them, they just punt it away. And Kim gets it. Still in Falcon territory, though. See if I can't get Ahmed some more action, and he cannot reach for that one. See if we can get Jorge some catches as well. Get him on the outside, and that's not working. I thought he was going to cut back in, but I did not know my receiver's roots. Gotta say, I don't study the playbook like professional quarterbacks do. Maybe I should do that. So once again, I'm just going to go for it here on 4th down. Nothing to lose. You can run out the clock in the original game a lot better than you can in 2002. But it looks like I'm not going to have to worry about that. Is Sydney Weber almost gets into the end zone. I tried to dive in, although she should be counted as being in the end zone. And Jorge gets his touchdown that I wanted him to get so badly for this game, completing the trifecta. All 3 of my receivers having a score. So if I can't get this extra point, I'll be stuck at 49 points for the game, and I am, unfortunately.
We're going to call it a day.
So after that outburst of offense in the second half, let's see how many points we got in the second half. So first half, second half, 21. Oh, I actually got more in the first half. Excuse me there. But collective total of 361 total yards. A good output by us. And a little bit better than normal in rushing yards, still below the other team. But for ourselves, we have improved there. So an easy win against the Falcons. We'll check out the division games this week. A huge blowout by the Broncos, 53-6 over the Cowboys. Tim Tebow-licious leading them to victory. After the Lions win, a close game against a pretty good Niners team, 14-12. The Packers and Vikings both went down, so guess what happens here? I have clinched the division and are weak, very weak, anemic back here at Frontyard Central, excuse me. I believe it's Frontyard. Is the Saints win a shootout against the Packers. You can see that happening in the NFC Championship this year, and the Stars take down the Vikings 21-12. So the Chicago Bears, sweet. Bears clinch division crown. Chicago Bears continue their magical season today by clinching the Frontyard Central Division and home field advantage in the playoffs. Sydney Weber was heard afterwards saying, "It's all good." So there's the plaque. Got a couple hands in the action there. And we take home. Where's our trophy? It's not in there yet, unfortunately. Newspaper, though. It's a good action for us. January 9, 2012, Monday. And no Monday Night Football, so I thought I'd put this out for you. 60 points in the game, still our most. But on our schedule, we're taking on the Wombats in the next game. We're 9-0, obviously. A pretty good defensive showing there as well. Division champs here. And the Wombats stand at 4-5, so they're a pretty good team, a middle-of-the-road team at 4-5, and the Niners aren't as good as I thought they were. So we shouldn't have too much. They shouldn't be too much of a pushover, but we should have the advantage there. And I'm not think the Lions, Packers, or Vikings will see themselves in the playoffs, not even in the top 8 for the division. Unfortunate for them. So thanks for watching Game 9. I'll see you guys at home again at the Metro Civic Playgrounds. We'll be taking on the Wombats in Game 10, who are 4-5. So I'll see you guys in Game 10 then.